Hit me. Hit me.
So, what's the closest you've been to dying without realizing it until later?
The time I fell out of a tree and impaled myself in the abdomen on a lower branch.
Ow.
How close did you get to dying at that point then?
Emergency surgery. It almost hit my femoral artery, and had it hit my femoral artery, I would have bled out on the spot, but it was like
Yeah, femoral
millimeters
artery
away.
is literally like 10 seconds.
So the
flat here,
ambulance,
come
so okay, I'm up in a tree. All right, let's do the whole story. I'm up in a tree, and it's getting close to Thanksgiving, and my mom wants to put up some Christmas lights, right? And this is when I was drinking, Jeff. So it was early in the morning, and ask
Drunk
yourself,
Jeff.
was drunk Jeff drunk early in the morning? Fucking right, I was.
What time?
Be-
What time in the morning?
It was like 9, and I woke
Okay,
up
cool.
and I was
You're like
pretty
3
hungover. And a
or
lot of
4
people don't
beers.
know this, but if you want to clear a hangover, you drink more booze,
Yeah.
and then you're not hungover anymore. It's called a bender. They're fun. Anyway, I'm up in a tree next thing you know, and I'm putting up Christmas lights, and my mom goes, "Don't fall," and I'm like, "I'm not gonna fall," and like so my foot is on like a branch that had been sawn off, but like not close to the trunk. It had a little bit of like
A little
it
bit
was
of nub.
sticking out. Yeah, a little bit of nub sticking out, and then they sawed it. Like right after she says that, I slip and fall and hit that thing straight like right above my junk on the right side, like kind of where your leg attaches to your body. It caught me
Yeah.
right there. Now I'm up in the tree and I just think it's caught on my hoodie or whatever. So I'm like, okay, uh-oh. And I pull myself like on a branch. I pull myself up and then I kind of fall into the yard and I felt something weird when I like pulled myself up and it just felt like burning.
Like, did I pee again? Did I pee my
It
pants
felt
again?
weird. So anyway, I'm like holding like right there. And my mom's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." And she's like, "Well, let me see." Now, here's what she didn't know. I have a tattoo right there
Oh
that she
no.
didn't know about that I got when I was 18. And it looks stupid, but there it is. Anyway, I'm holding it and she's like, "Let me see." And I'm like, "No, no, no,
Wait.
no, no."
Did you stab the tattoo on accident?
It just barely missed it. So
So
thank
close.
heavens that amazing tattoo of mine is saved for another day. It's real fun getting like a physical or something. I'm like, yeah, I know it's the coolest tattoo you've ever seen.
What is it?
is this tattoo? You have to
It's
tell
an
us now.
ankh. It's an ankh.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's right.
What is
I
that?
mean,
It's
it's stupid.
the Egyptian like cross basically.
Egyptian symbol for like life and prosperity. Anubis, the jackal, like carries it around in his hand. It's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I wanted a tattoo, right? But my parents own a boat. And so I was around them like in swim trunks like all the time. So it's like, where am I going to put it? And I didn't want to put it on my ass. So my options were limited. Anyway, so that's where I put it. So I'm holding my groin, not groin. What would you call it? Like just lower
Pelvis.
abdomen. Just like, yeah, it's just like where
Pelvis.
your leg connects to the trunk.
Yeah.
And she's like, let me see it, let me see it. And I'm like, no, no,
Your
no,
like
no, no. And then
Adonis
like,
area.
so I move my hand and like to look at it, like my hand that was holding right there, and it is just covered in blood. And I'm like, oh boy. And she's like, let me look. And like now my dad's like up on the porch and he's involved. And so she looks, and I still have a picture of what the wound looked like. It is like you can just see inside of me. It's no good.
Oof.
And my mom goes, I knew you fucking had a tattoo. And my dad goes,
Not
my
paying
dad
attention
goes,
to the blood pouring
we
out
can
of you.
murder him later. Like, let's call an ambulance. So next thing you know, the ambulance comes. And I knew from doing a ski area class, like I went to school for ski area operations, and I did a ski area class that like if they think you might have like neck or spinal trauma, like they're gonna cut your clothes off. So the ambulance comes and they start cutting my clothes off in the backyard. Fucking sucked. I was like, guys, no, no, no. I know my neck is fine. My neck is fine. My back is fine. I just you fucked my. I got this issue down here next to my awesome tattoo, and they were like, that is a cherry tattoo, son. And I'm like,
Like, thanks,
Thank
tell my
you.
parents.
Thanks, buddy. So they cut my clothes off anyway. As we're getting onto the ambulance, I'm like, "Hey, yo!" So I'm since I'm the only one who's naked here, can I pick out like what we listen to on the radio? And they're like, "Haha, why are you making jokes right now? What is wrong with you?" I'm just like, I'm you know.
They're like, I'm
So
a little
we get to the
toasty.
hospital and they're like, "Have you been drinking or anything?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Okay, well, it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, how much have you had to drink?" I'm like, nah, not that much. And they're like, well, we have to do a toxicology to figure out like where you're at before we can do surgery. So they do, and they come back and they're like, yeah, dude, your blood alcohol level is like 0.2, like 0.24. I'm like, which is like 3 times the legal limit to drive a car. And I'm still
Yeah.
like conscious and cracking jokes and like coherent. And they're like, Jesus Christ, like, do you drink a lot? I'm like, I mean, a little bit.
Oh, man.
I like to party. Hence the tattoo. You guys seeing this?
See?
Pretty great, right? So anyway, went into emergency surgery. And then this actually ties into the beginning of the podcast. So this might be a good little bow. Anyway, emergency surgery. And I'm at St. Anthony's. And they are getting ready to close down that hospital and move it to a new location. So it is fucking like barely lit. The TV is a million years old. Like I'm watching The Office. See, tie in.
Yeah.
I'm watching The Office, and Michael Scott like looks like he might be a man of an African American persuasion. That's how like and like, dude, everything was so fucking creepy and weird. Like seriously, they kept half the lights on at all times. So the nurse would be like, "You need to get up and walk around and stuff," and I'm like, "Bitch, get off my case." And she's like, "No, you need to go like walk around." So I'm like walking around, just like looking in like these dark hallways and these rooms with just like people who look gray, just like looking back at me, and I'm like, "Oh, I want to go home. I don't like it here. I don't like this
Jesus.
place." So that's one of the times I almost died when I was drinking. I have a couple other ones.
We'll save
That's-
those for later episodes.
Yeah.
That's